Right on, writers, and welcome back to the Books by ADRIAN author platform. This is Typewriters Podcast, where we let our hair down a little bit and just chit chat, kind of decompress after live stream Sunday, and have a little more time with our guest of the week. So we're gonna bring Miss Matteson Wynn back out here in just a moment. Just be sure to like, comment, subscribe if you are watching us on YouTube. If you are listening on iTunes or on Spotify, leave us a 5-star review. And these things help us in the algorithm and all that good stuff. You know all about the algorithm, don't you? Just, do the thing that the thing wants you to do. Click on the button. It's all great. All right, y'all. Let's get it right back out here. The author of the Housekeeper series, Matteson Wynn. Matteson, welcome back.
Hey, Adrian.
Hello.
Thrilled to be here. Now, do you ever use a typewriter? This is my question. I love them, but I haven't used one in years.
I love them, but I have not used one in years either. I played around with them when I was in high school a lot. Like, for some reason, I had a teacher, a history teacher, who just was really into typewriters, and he had a lot of them around the room, and he would let us play with them. So that's where my love for them kind of came from. But no, I don't write out. It takes too much muscle power to push down on those heavy keys.
The picture you have here of the old-timey typewriter,
yeah, my
grandpa gave me one like that, and I swear to God, the space between the key and the hinge where you pushed it down, they were this big.
Yeah,
the little tiny kid hands. I was like, poof.
Yeah. That's exactly what it's like. And along those same lines, we were talking in the live stream Sunday about finding our writing routine, finding our way of doing it, and experimenting with it. And for this second book, I'm trying to do things a little different. So for the outlining process, I decided to go full Neil Gaiman on it and do it by hand. So I'm doing all of my writing by hand for the whole plotting of this thing. Right now I'm still in the brain dump kind of area, but yeah, just writing by hand, getting as much done. It really does make you think really hard about the words that you use, because you get tired. So you want to write as little as possible. You become very, very economical with your word choices, and then eventually I'll transfer it over to typing. What is this bug in here? So how about you? How do you start out? Do you start out by hand? Do you start on the computer?
Really, really interesting. The entire reason I own a Surface Pro is so that because it has a pen and I can handwrite on it. So we talked about the fact that I'm a plantser. I don't plot per se, but I have little signposts along my way, and then I kind of fill it in as I go. When I am noodling, when I'm plot noodling, I do it longhand. And if I get stuck writing, I will switch to longhand. Otherwise, I type.
Interesting. Yeah.
I mean, I am a big longhand. This is my bullet journal.
Nice.
Just like I am a big pen and ink paper aficionado.
Yeah, I for the first book, I was really into the index card thing for the whole plotting part of it. I had index cards everywhere, and then maybe a quarter of the way through, I discovered Dabble, and that's the program that I use now for my manuscript, and it has its own digital index card deal. So I get my fix in there, and I don't have to have paper everywhere. And now for this new wave of plotting by hand, I feel like I'm probably gonna fill up a whole notebook pretty soon, because for this next one, I want to be, I consider myself a plotter, but honestly, I do leave a lot of room for discovery while I'm writing the chapters themselves.
Yeah.
And so my outlines are very, for the most part, pretty vague, and I fill in the in-betweens while I'm writing. I'm probably going to try to be a lot more specific in my outline this next time and get as much detail down as possible. Knowing that this first book being 150K, the next book, I'm guessing, is not going to be any smaller than 200. Just because I know myself.
To me.
Yeah, I can see it already. So I probably want to get like a good 25K down for the outline alone at least. Like I want to get a real big chunky outline, something that's like really, really.
Damn. Do
So we'll
you
see.
go back with a highlighter to like color code stuff? Like at that point, it's so here's why I like computers is because I can sort and find and search and do
Sure.
all those things. It's interesting though when but I longhand plot noodle, right? So
Hmm.
I will go in and circle and star things with my little
Yeah. Not
Surface Pro
only
pen.
not only highlighters for me, I'll have pens of different colors, and I'll write for different
There we go. I love
characters with
my
different
different color
colors.
pens. Yes.
Yeah, yeah. I'll have one color specifically for one character, another color for another, and then that way, even if the thought I have is for a character that I'm not currently writing, I can just throw it down and just use a different ink color, and I'll easily find it next time.
That's fantastic. I love that. Yep. Do you ever, I was trying to see where my guy is. Do you ever use a Kanban board?
What is that? I'm not familiar with this. What is that?
Oh, I have the most nerdy Kanban board example you will ever see anywhere.
Okay.
But it's an organization system, and basically it's a big. It can be a whiteboard. It can be a, we'll call it a whiteboard for now. A piece of paper
Okay.
on the wall doesn't matter, and you have different. It's a grid, right? So you have let's say 3 projects. You put all your to-dos on stickies or
Mm-hmm.
post-its, or you just write them on the whiteboard up above,
Mm-hmm.
right? And then every time when you're working on it, it goes to the middle box, and when you're done, it goes to the bottom. So you
Okay.
get to physically see a representation of you making progress.
Oh,
So
nice.
if you were to put the sections of your outline up there, you could, and it would, if you're a visual person, this doesn't work for everybody, but if you're a visual person, it helps you to track your to-dos. So like as you're publishing and you're marketing and you're doing all the things, there's going to be more and more pieces to juggle. One way to organize your author business is to have physical pieces, and you only ever work on what's on the in the active box. So you don't forget anything. It's all up there, but you got the one book guy in the middle here.
Yeah. Yeah. You don't get distracted with stuff that you don't need to work on yet. You focus on what you're working on right now,
If
and you
can I
and
get
you
up
have
for a
that. Yeah, yeah, of course. Go ahead. And you really progress that way and track your progression. I like it. I like that a
see if
lot.
I can get him in the frame here. Can you
Whoa.
see? Okay, so this is, let me see if I can tip him forward. Somebody gave
Is
me
that
an
oh my
airborne
god.
standing dude, and he is my Kanban board.
I
You
love
see, I
it.
have the 3 stickies at the top for the categories. He needs to be reset for
I
next
see
quarter.
that.
But
That's awesome. I love
so,
Airborne.
me too. Somebody gave that to me, and I'm like, what the heck am I ever going to do with this? I turned him into a Kanban board. That's what I did.
Very
I'm
nice.
classy that way. I told you I'm the biggest nerd you're ever going to meet.
I kind of do something similar, but I use Milanote. If you're not familiar, it's basically like a digital bulletin board, and so you can work on it on your desktop. There's an app for your phone. Wherever you are, you can throw up a
Like
note real
Notion?
quick. I'm not familiar with Notion. Here, let me show you. Let me show you what Milanote looks like. Where am I? Where is it? Where is it? Oh, I have the app here. Okay, so let me share this screen. So yeah, so the idea being that if I have an idea that I want to throw up on the board, I can do it from anywhere. I don't have to be at home. And then later when I
That's
go
great.
to actually like write, I can just pull it up from anywhere. Here we go. So we're gonna share that. Boom. So we have so it's an actual like bulletin board. You can actually move things around, create to-do
Nice.
lists, put up pictures, and
Nice.
then have actual boards that you can actually go into and move things around and uh, you know color code whatever you want to do. It's all right there, and
Love it.
it's how
That's
I'm
great.
plotting
Yeah,
everything.
I need to color code as well. I use different, for my Kanban board, I use different colored stickies and different colored pens. Yeah, whole thing. I'm the same as you. You and I
Yeah,
have a lot in common. It's freaky, man.
I like it. It's good. It's good
I do too. It's good,
to meet a kindred spirit.
right? In terms of organization stuff, I highly, highly, highly recommend Sarah Cannon. If you don't follow her,
Sarah
she
Cannon with a
has
C.
Canon, and her first name is Sarah, Sarra. She has a fantastic self-publishing course.
Oh, good.
She
Cool.
has a really, really good. She developed her own planner system. It's specifically great for writers, but it can work for anybody. Called the HB90 system, and it is really great. You plan by quarter instead of year, so you have 4 chances to reset during the year, and it's really it's a real good way to keep track of a lot of stuff.
Nice.
I found it incredibly useful, and that's where I learned about the Kanban board. She has a ton of
Cool.
videos about it, so you can check it out online.
Yeah, definitely.
She's on YouTube. She's an AuthorTube.
Well, then she's getting a This Week in AuthorTube next time.
She's so great. She has put together a writing community called Heart Breathings, and it is the most healthy, kind, wonderful group on the internet. I swear to God. They do writing sprints all week long. They have different times. So if you ever want to write with a group, you can like pop into a writing sprint, and everybody
Okay.
supports everybody else. There's no toxicity or bull. It's just lovely.
That's wonderful. Awesome. Always good to find a nice little community for authors. You know, this it
Yep.
can be such a lonely craft, this writing thing that we do. It's nice to find people that do it too and talk to them about it and get their support.
Well,
You know,
it can be lonely, and then some of the communities I find can be, well, it's Facebook, some of the communities
the
can be
internet.
real toxic. Yeah, right.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, you get a certain
fussing.
number of people into any room, you're gonna have a couple of dum-dums in there.
Yep. I'm like fussing with my bags because I don't get out of my face. There we
I
go.
like the blue. I don't know if
Oh,
I noticed
thanks.
in the yeah, it looks nice. So you mentioned that your first book took you a good 6 years.
Yeah.
Your second one about a year.
Yeah.
What's
Year and a half,
what's your timing like nowadays? How long does it take you from concept to publish typically?
So usually whatever's going to happen in the next book burbles up while I'm finishing the one I'm on. So I have a big chunk of book 5 in place in my brain already. I know the inciting it. Well, I know what the main book is about already, so I know where I'm going, and I know how this plot arc ends. So I always am aiming for this one point in the distance. That helps a lot, I think. I broke my pattern with book 4. It took me, 2 years. It was supposed to be out a year ago, like October-ish. And I didn't finish writing it until I used NaNoWriMo to help me power through the end of it. I used it as my sort of little engine to get me done. Oh, this one's been a real pain in the patootie. I'm not kidding.
It's kind of cool that you started
Yeah.
with NaNoWriMo, and then when you ran into trouble on your 4th book, you turned back to your roots, so to speak. You went back to
Yep.
NaNoWriMo to complete it. That's kind of nice.
It's not always a great solution for me. I'm not a word vomit writer. I'm more meticulous than I generally recommend people be. Usually you're supposed to write and then edit. Because of the way that I work in my day job, where the writing is so very technical, I'm used to editing as I go. So it slows me down for sure. But I get cleaner drafts. By the time I'm done with my book, usually I just need one more full pass to be done. This book, the first edit is going to be a rough, like hardcore, for real edit because it needs a lot of love. So this will be my alpha. I usually would have done an alpha round by the time I'm done. Poor Maura. My sister, I give it to her in chunks. It's the most evil way to give somebody a book. I mean, they have to wait for each section. They can't read at their own pace. It's just mean. But she helps me out. She's
my
going to get
sister's my editor
round.
too.
There you go.
It's so funny.
Yeah, she's so she gives me my alpha feedback, and then I have a group of people that do beta of friends, and then also my editor. So this book particularly is because of Nano, because I didn't edit when I wrote. It means I need a much heavier edit. So it's a trade-off, right? If you're going to write quickly, then you're going to have to edit harder later.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah, for me, I'm similar where I like to edit as I go, but I also know that it slows me down. So I've fallen into a pattern with it where if I'm sitting down tonight to write something new, I write something new. Tomorrow night when I sit down, I edit what I wrote yesterday. And then once
Oh,
that's
that's
edited,
nice.
then I start something new. And then that way I'm always just going back just one writing session,
I
editing
like
that,
that.
and then moving on to the next thing. And I can't start something new until I edit that, but it tends to go a little quicker. And as you say, you get cleaner, drafts. By the time I'm done with my first
Yep.
draft, it reads more like a second draft because I've been
Yes,
editing along the way.
exactly.
Yeah.
This is a true first draft, which drives me bonker doodles, and it hurts my brain to not be able to go back and fix things. Um, but it honestly, just getting this one out on the page was the most important thing I needed to be done.
Sure.
And I'm thrilled with this book now. I'm back in love with it. I've gotten through the messy middle and through the other end. So
That's nice.
there you
That's
go.
good. Yeah, the messy middle is such a pain in the ass. Like it was rough for me. This would because I tend to have for chapters and my book as a whole, I tend to have a strong beginning and a strong end, but that middle, man, like it's a pain in the ass to
That's
figure
where all
out the
the
middle.
twists come in, though, and that's
I
where the puzzle
know.
pieces and the mystery, right? That's where all the yeah.
Yeah, the
Oh,
stuff
and
that like really matters.
okay, so let's get real here. Let's talk
Oh
rewards.
boy, here we go.
The thing I picked up from Sarah Cannon as well that I think is super important. Writing takes forever. I mean, okay, I have a friend who can write 10,000 words in an hour. I am not that writer.
In
Like
an hour?
a day.
What is it, a
Maybe
robot?
no, she's just really fast, and she just churns it. And I know
Stephen
there
King
is
over
an
here.
indie self-publishing novel where people are able to write 14 books a year. I will never be that person. I am not that fast, and I have concerns that that's not healthy to work that hard all that time. But
I gotta
it works
imagine
for
that those are smaller books though, as well. Like
yeah,
on the whole,
they're 50,000.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, they're pretty small.
Um. So, but it doesn't matter. However you're writing, however long it takes a lot to do them. You need rewards along the way. Do you benchmark yourself? If I do X, I get Y. How do you work your reward system?
Kinda,
Because it's
yeah.
important.
It the last like 6 months have just been depriving myself of rewards, so and just buckling down to get done,
Dude.
but so that once I was done, I could really like go nuts, and I did because I took all last week off. I didn't do any writing. I didn't do anything last week.
Yay.
I watched. I'm trying to get caught up on House of the Dragon because I had only seen the first episode and then I didn't see anything else. So I was getting caught up on that. I hear that what's the craze right now? The show everybody's talking about right now. Not just Wednesday, but that's another one. There was another one I can't even remember. I gotta look into it. And Andor, the new Star Wars show, is apparently fantastic. I have
I
to
have
get
mixed
caught up on that one.
feelings.
Well, it
It's
wouldn't be
slow.
Star
Okay.
Wars if people
Yeah.
didn't have mixed feelings.
No, I like it. The acting is really Diego Luna is top
Oh
notch
yeah.
as an actor. Like
Oh
he's
sure.
just so the
I'll
acting
watch
is
him read the phone book.
outstanding.
He's great.
I'm with you. My issue with it, and it's not a problem for some people. It's really slow. It goes
I
episodes
hear
with
that. Yeah,
nothing
it's way
actually happening.
it's way more just dialogue heavy and just character based, and not so much with the fast paced plot that you typically get from a Star Wars show. Yeah, but
I
that's
want to
kind of
get
why I
in there
want
with
to
my
check it
kids.
out. That's because
Yeah,
it
it's
sounds
different.
very
It's
different.
a
Yeah,
different pace.
yeah.
Yeah, so I like it. I'm just like, but nothing happened that entire episode. Editors. Like I feel like they could have done it in half the number of episodes they have, but they're going for a thing. I mean, it's very clear. They are going for a specific tone. They are going for a specific pace.
Yeah, I'm anxious to
I'll be
check it
curious
out.
to see what you think.
Oh, I'll definitely share my thoughts. So yeah, that's what I've been doing is getting caught up on stuff that I haven't watched or or I'm getting caught up on reading, like actually reading stuff. I don't really get to read for pleasure very much these days anymore.
Well, between
But
work, writing, and kids, I mean,
well, yeah.
that doesn't leave much.
But to answer your question, my original reward system before I got crazy over the last 6 months, my original reward system was if I would sit down to write, I would typically I burn out after a good like 2 strong hours of writing. I don't
Okay.
need sprints the way a lot of writers do, but I tend to like to just sit down and just go until I can't anymore. And like, when I'm starting to get a little drowsy, or when like the ideas aren't really coming, that's when I know, okay, it's time to just pause and go do something else. And that's where the reward system comes in. If I've done the writing for today, if I've met the word count or whatever the goal is, or in my case the 2 hours that I typically go, then I'm allowed to play a video game, or then I'm allowed to watch an episode of something.
Okay.
um and I tend to keep it like that. Like I'm going to do the writing, and once the writing is done, then I can kick back a little bit and just veg out and watch something. Yeah, that's usually
That's nice.
the yeah. It's as simple as that. I don't need like you know huge rewards to keep it going, because I actually like really like it. I like writing. I like sitting down. I like getting it done. It's just a matter of being disciplined at it and getting the work done.
So the tricky part for me is trying to balance the business things
Mm.
with the writing things. Now, I know a lot of people really hate the business end of being self-publisher. I don't.
I'm looking
Um,
forward to it.
actually enjoy it. What is difficult for me is not having enough time to do all the things. It's
Fair.
always the energy, it just, oh,
Oh yeah, yeah.
but it's the same with anything. We've all got a limited number of hours in the day, and we all have a lot of things pulling at our attention. It's tricky. I haven't found a good solution yet. It's one of the things in my writing process that I am constantly trying to figure out is how to fit all the things in with the restrictions that I'm under.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, it's a bit of a trial and error kind of deal. As you say, like I got a full-time job. I've got a wife who for some reason likes me and wants to spend time with me, and I have to make time for her. I have kids who also get very excited when they see daddy. I don't know what they like so much about me, but they do. So you want to give them as much time as possible. It's hard because I do my best writing first thing in the morning. I wake up, I get a cup of coffee. If I am able to sit down and write, then I'm going to get the best pages of the week on that day. But
Yep.
I never get to do that because I have kids and they're running around and they want to do stuff. So I don't usually get to sit down and write until everybody is asleep. We're also in a smaller place than we need / deserve. So it's a little cramped. So someday in the future, when we have a nice bigger place and I have a room set aside just for my work, it'll be a little easier to get in there, close the door. Everybody knows daddy's working in there. Don't bug him too much, and get the words done during the day. But finding
So
the time, finding the moments, yeah, it's hard.
here's something you could share with your readers who are looking for ideas. Funny things the kids say, and
Oh,
also ways your kids react to books they've read or TV, because
that's a good
there's
one.
nothing, you know, funnier. As much as you're willing to. I know
Oh
it's
no, yeah,
not a thing, but but that is a part of your personal life is balance. It's like my cat sits on the computer while I'm trying to type. It's hilarious. It is not conducive to getting work done. Soon
yeah,
as I take a lap, she's like, "Yes!"
yeah,
Like, dude, I can't, trying to type over. I need video of me trying to type over the cat.
yeah. Yeah, I can't tell you how many times I've sat down to edit a video or do some writing or whatever it is, and Felix, my youngest one, is usually the one to walk in here. Daddy, will you play with me? I want to play with the toys. And I'm like, buddy, I got to get some work done. And he's like, all right,
The
well,
pout, not the
how how,
pout.
how
Anything
can I
but
go on
pout.
working? And like, no, I can't. All work must stop. The pout has to be addressed.
Yes, absolutely, and especially when they're young.
Yeah,
They get more independent so quickly.
yeah.
Yeah,
Soon they're not going to want to have me around anymore, so I got to cherish it while they do.
for sure. Sadly, that is the case. Teenage years are coming. I will send wine.
My oldest, he's 7, but he's always been very big for his age. He's very tall, very long limbed. And just the other day, I was doing the dishes, and I look over, and he's at the table eating, and he just looked like a giant to me. He just looked like a giant, and I'm like, "How are you so big? You used to fit in my hand. How are you
Yeah,
so big?" And I immediately did the math, and I'm like, "Oh my god, he's 9 years away from 18. Like that's crazy to me. Like
it's
it's
terrifying,
insane."
right? Because it's gonna go
Yeah.
by so
Well, I work
fast.
at a hotel, and more to the point, a hotel in a college town, right
Oh,
by the university.
wow.
And so I check in parents all the time who are moving their kids into college, or
Yep.
coming in for graduation, or big moments like that. And I'm like, how are you not a puddle right now? Like, how are you just not losing your mind? And they're like, oh, I am. Like in here, it's just it's insanity. Like my baby
You're
is
waiting till they get in
moving
the
away.
room, and then they're
Yeah.
gonna be like, "Ah,
Yeah, yeah. And I was always, as a younger guy, as a single guy before being a parent, I'm a big crybaby. I cry at movies, TV shows. If you hit the right heartstrings, I'm gonna
same."
cry. And
Aw,
anything father son related, I used to
right.
cry as a son who has a very close relationship to his father. Anything father son related, I was crying. And now I'm a father, so now anything father son related, I'm crying again, like even more so. So, so I'm just crying at everything nowadays. It's just like, kids ruin everything. It's the best. It's the best. Miss Wynn,
Yes.
was there anything that you wanted to cover with us today that we maybe didn't get to in Livestream Sunday or haven't gotten to on this one?
So I've been stalking you and listening to your past interviews and podcast. One of the questions you like to ask is about dealing with writer's block.
Yes.
I have a little bit of a different take on this than
Wonderful.
I had heard. Well, I haven't, full disclosure, listened to all of them. I've
Obviously not.
listened to
Nobody has
quite a
the time to
few,
do that. I
but
I have
um,
forgotten most of them.
so I know that I had heard you say, stream of consciousness writing
Hmm.
is one way to go
Huge tool
at
for
it.
me.
Have you done The Writer's Way, Julia Cameron's
The
system
Writer's
ever?
Way. No, tell me about that one.
Oh, okay. Where did I put it? Oh, I have it here somewhere behind me. Um, so it's basically like a 12-week course in a book,
Okay.
and it has two main tenets: morning pages and artist dates.
Okay.
I did it with a group of actors twice when I was still acting. The idea is every morning you sit down, like the second you get up, and you write 3 pages stream of consciousness. Just every day. That is your life from now on.
Hmm.
And then once a week, you take yourself on an artist date by yourself. And it can be as simple as window shopping. It can be you could go to a movie, you could go to the library. It's just something that fills your well. So the stream of consciousness thing that you guys were talking about on one of the podcasts made me think of The Writer's Way.
Hmm.
It's basically what you're doing is you're clearing the pipes, right?
Hmm.
You're spitting it on out there. I definitely think that's a great idea, and that's very healthy and a good thing to do anyway. But I also wanted to point out that sometimes it's necessary to ask ourselves why we're blocked.
Hmm.
Because sometimes we're just bloody burnt out. We have a bad habit. Artists across the way, again, actors, writers, dancers, it doesn't matter what kind of artists or painters, what kind of creative you are. We have a real bad habit of pushing ourselves to the point of burnout, and sometimes the well is just empty.
Yeah, it's just
And
dry.
you need a break. So sometimes writer's block is your mind, soul, creative, wherever you think your creativity comes from, saying to you, too much, time out, I need a break. So that's where something like an artist date or any other well-filling activity, whatever it is, binge watching Wednesday or whatever the thing is that you need can fill you up.
Hmm.
Um, Another sort of out of the box way that I go at writer's block is to do something else creative that is not writing.
Mm.
So I write for my day job. I write, edit, copy, edit for my day job, right? And then
And then
when
you write
I'm not doing that,
for your yeah, for your side gig. Yeah.
I do not want to do any more writing. That is enough words. So for me, one of the weird ways to get around writer's block is to make art or of some sort. Decorate my bullet journal, paint something. I'm not a good artist, but my inner 4-year-old likes getting messy with paint. Okay. Singing, dancing. I am like an artsy fartsy nerd. It's hardcore. That's what works for me. Gardening can do it. Something that is not writing. Do something else creative to lead you back to your writing. I think sometimes that can be really helpful. Just a
Nice.
suggestion.
Absolutely. Yeah, that's a good one. It's a great one. I agree with you. I agree with you. Taking that time to just kind of recharge your batteries is very, very important. The whole like reward system thing is about that a lot for
Super
me.
important. Yep.
Yeah, yeah, just kind of like giving yourself. My wife is a really good example. I mean, she has a heart condition. She has WPW, and and she gets, she works very hard. She's a mom. We're homeschooling our kids, so
Oh,
she's
wow.
homeschooling the kids.
A
And then,
lot.
she has a side job, 3 or 4 times a week she'll go and like clean a house or an office or something to make a little extra scratch. And she's just go all the time, and I have to like physically like stop her and be like, babe, sit down, take a 15-30 minute break, watch TV with the kids, eat some junk food, whatever it is, just chill, because you're like a lot right now, like relax. And I have to tell myself that, because I'll do the same thing, I'll get to that like 2 hour mark where I've been writing nonstop for a good 2 hours, and like now it's just garbage coming out of me, and I have to like actually stop myself and be like, stop, right, just stop it, get up, go for a walk, figure something out, like just do anything else.
Well, and rewards can be anything, right? They can be watching TV, they can be reading a book. I love stickers. So sometimes I go to the dollar store and get stickers because
Nice.
that's what's gonna make my little child heart out. I am a 4-year-old in a 53-year-old body, dude. The rule
Nothing
is
wrong
if
with
you
that.
make it to 50 without growing up, you don't have to. So, haha, I'm all set.
It's good advice.
But I mean, it could literally be stickers or paint or it can be anything. But the longer I do this, and I'm terrible at taking my own advice, but the longer I do this, the more important I think it is to be kind to ourselves and, support each other in the writing community. Be cognizant of your mental health. Are you taking care of yourself? Are you getting the support and the encouragement that you need both internally and externally? Those things are real important. I'm not a huge fan of I started to say this in the other interview, but I worry about the go, do more, produce mentality that has sort of been taking over the self-publishing community. I have a piece of cat fur on my lip, and it is driving me nuts. They're not in here, and it doesn't matter. It's cat fur everywhere.
That fur is gonna get everywhere.
Anyway, sorry, I digress. I worry about us, right? I worry about us not being healthy. Like, I mean, good for you if you're motivated. I'm not trying to sound judgy at all. I don't mean it that way. I want people to be happy and joyous and be creative and all of those things, but I don't want them to kill themselves.
Too. Yeah,
yes, don't kill yourself doing it. You're gonna burn out, and then you're gonna get sick, and nobody wants that. You don't want that. We don't want that for you. So there's got to be some kind of balance in there.
Absolutely.
And that's, I'm like, rewards, ways around writer block, well-filling, creativity, that kind of a thing.
Yeah. Little breaks, little vacations, little rewards. Absolutely.
Yes.
Absolutely. I can't think of a better note to go out on, actually. That's really sage advice. I hope that everybody at home takes it. Matteson, thank you so much. Thank you so much for being here. Thank you for joining me. This has been great. It's been so good getting to know you.
I'm so excited for you for your book.
Oh my God, I'm excited too. I'm very excited too. And we write similar genres. If you want to read it, if you would like to, I'd be happy to send you a copy. You don't have to. I know that you're very busy, but if you want,
I would love to read it. That would be great.
I'll send you a copy. That'd be wonderful.
Yes.
For everybody at home, thank you so much for joining us. Like, comment, subscribe, all that good stuff. Matteson, you are the penultimate guest, but the last actual interview of the season. So thank you so very much for taking us out with a bang. This has been fantastic.
The rest of your year brings you lots of happiness and lots of laughter.
Thank you very, very much. Thank you very much. And everybody stick around Sunday. The last episode of Live Stream Sunday for the season is going to be a group discussion all on publishing. So come back for that. We have a panel full of great guests for you. Thank you so much again. And Write on Writers. We are out.